It's a word in common usage. Effort, strength, energy, power are loosely associated with it. For our purposes, we will stick to its meaning in conventional Newtonian physics. Newton's version of the universe is simple and elegant, and it works 99% of the time. It's not 100% accurate. It does not take into account the implications of quantum theory when applied to classical definitions of the concept in physics. But that's a different story. No spooky action at a distance here. We'll stick to the basics. There are some terms and phrases that will keep popping up in our discussion. Let's get those out of the way. A vector quantity. A vector is basically a thing that has two independent properties. A line is not a vector because it has only the property of length. It is a scalar quantity. A two-dimensional box has length and breadth, so it is a vector. Force has both magnitude and direction, so it is a vector quantity. Moment of force or turning effect or torque, not DC Comics supervillain who can't twist his head around. Torque, in physics, is the tendency of a force to rotate the body to which it is applied. It can be thought of simply as a twisting action. It is represented by either the symbol T, the lowercase Greek letter tau, or the symbol m when being referred to as the moment of force. Yes, there is an unfortunate tendency in the physical sciences to call the same thing by different names. The SI unit for torque is Newton into meter, Newton meters. The SI unit is the international system of units based on the meter kilogram second (MKS) system, an extension of the metric system. Joules. They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese. Vincent? Nah man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the F a quarter pounder is. The CGS system of units is the centimeter gram second system of units that is also part of the metric system. The imperial and the United States customary system of measurement uses such vague units as inch, foot, yard, mile, pound, stone, ounce, pint, quart, gallon. Seriously? These are replaced by the metric system in most countries, though government practices in India still uses units like yard, mile, quintal, gallon. Phew. When in doubt, just use Google for conversion. Newton is the absolute unit of force in the SI unit system of measurement. It's defined as that force necessary to provide a mass of 1 kilogram with an acceleration of 1 meter per second, or 1 meter per second squared. The Newton was named after Sir Isaac Newton, whose second law of motion describes the changes that a force can produce in the motion of a body. The equation for Newton works out as N equal to kilogram multiplied by meter divided by second square. Force is any action that tends to maintain or alter the motion of a body or to distort it. The concept of force is commonly explained in terms of Isaac Newton's 3 laws of motion set forth in his Principia Mathematica, 1687. According to Newton's first principle, a body that is at rest or moving at an uniform rate in a straight line will remain in that state until some force is applied to it. The second law says that when an external force acts on a body, it produces an acceleration, change in velocity of the body in the direction of the force. The magnitude of the acceleration is directly proportional to the magnitude of the external force and inversely proportional to the quantity of matter in the body. Newton's third law states that when one body exerts a force on another body, the second body exerts an equal force on the first body. This principle of action and reaction explains why a force tends to deform a body, that is, change its shape, whether or not it causes the body to move. The deformation of a body can usually be neglected when investigating its motion. Now, because we love formulas, here are some ways of looking at the same concept. Force F equals to mass m multiplied by acceleration A is employed to calculate the number of newtons required to increase or decrease the velocity of a given body. Velocity is the information of speed plus the information of direction. Speed is a scalar quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. What's the difference between weight and mass? Many people use these terms interchangeably, but that only works because all but a few of us live on Earth. If we start taking up residence in space colonies, on the moon, or on other planets, we'll have to get more precise when we talk about how much stuff is in our stuff. So here's a quick breakdown of weight versus mass. Mass. If you could count up the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in an object, which you probably can't, this would be a measure of the mass. The mass is essentially how much stuff is in an object. Yes, I know, that's just a partial definition, but it's good enough for now. Common units for mass are the kilogram and the gram. If you insist on using silly imperial units, the unit for mass is the slug. It's true. Weight. There is a gravitational interaction between objects that have mass. If you consider an object interacting with the Earth, this force is called the weight. The unit of weight is the Newton, same as for any other force. Okay, fine, the stupid pound is also a unit for weight. Most humans on the surface of the Earth can get away with saying either weight or mass because they are proportional to each other. If you know the mass of something, small m, then the weight, capital W, can be found as W equals to m multiplied by g. G equal to 9.8 Newton divided by kilograms. In this expression, G is the local gravitational field. The key word here is local. This calculation of the gravitational force only works on the surface of the Earth. It does not work, at least not very well, for 100 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, and it doesn't work on Mars. Only on the surface of the Earth is there a proportionality constant of 9.8 newtons per kilogram. Since most humans live on the surface of the Earth, no one really complains about using weight and mass to basically mean the same thing. Acceleration is the rate at which velocity changes with time, in terms of both speed and direction. If velocity is expressed in meters per second, acceleration will be expressed in meters per second, or meter per second squared. Acceleration small a equals to velocity small v divided by time small t. If that is too simple for you, you can also define force as a rate of change in linear momentum. Momentum is the product of the mass of a particle and its velocity. Momentum small p equals to mass small m multiplied by velocity small v. Momentum is again a vector quantity. That is, it has both magnitude and direction. Isaac Newton's second law of motion states that the time rate of change of momentum is equal to the force acting on the particle. So force F is equal to mass m multiplied by acceleration a. Momentum P equals to mass m multiplied by velocity v. F equal to m multiplied by v divided by small t. M into v divided by t. dp divided by dt, which is time rate of change in linear momentum. The smaller case d represents a differential, that is, a changing quantity that is not a constant. For understanding moment of force, turning effect or torque, let's look at this example. Here is a door that opens outward or inward, rotating on a hinge. for providing the maximum amount of torque, it's not enough to push or pull the door violently. The magnitude of torque that will be generated by the force that you apply is dependent on the point of application of the force. If you apply the force to the outermost edges of the door, that is, at a maximum distance from the hinges, the effect of the force is maximum. The closer you get to the hinges, the more force you need to generate the equal amount of torque that was being produced when the force was applied to the edges of the door. Hence, torque is a product of force and distance. Distance refers to the perpendicular distance from the point of application of the force to the pivot point where the hinges are located. So the SI unit of T, lowercase Greek letter tau for torque, or capital M, moment of force, is equal to Newton N multiplied by M, which is meter or the unit of distance, or Newton multiplied by meter, Nm. The CGS unit of force is dyne. 1 Newton is equal to 100,000 dyne. That's right, 5 zeros after 1. So the CGS unit of torque is capital T equals to dyne multiplied by centimeter. But if force is measured in gravitational unit, the unit of force is kilogram force or kgf. 1 kgf is interestingly not the same as 1 Newton. That is because 1 kilogram force is equivalent to the magnitude of force exerted on 1 kilogram of mass in a 9.8 meter per second squared average gravitational field. It is the weight of a kilogram of mass under standard gravity. The pull of gravity on the Earth gives an object the downward acceleration of an average of 9.8 meter per second squared. So 1 kgf or 1 kilogram force is equal to 9.8 newtons. The measurement of torque in gravitational unit can be represented as 1 kgf multiplied by meter equals to 9.8 Newton into meter or 9.8 Nm. This is a measurement dependent on weight and not mass. Because weight of an object varies on different positions on the surface of the Earth based on the gravitational field at that point, this is not a standard measurement of force or torque. Hope we didn't take things apart and were unable to put them back. Best of luck. Just remember, don't just accept. Ask, ask, ask. This film is only an attempt to present in an interesting and informative manner the concept of force and that of torque in physics for class 10 ICSE students in India. The film in no way claims to supersede or replace any formal or conventional course material. Students are actively encouraged to view this video purely as an entertaining but accurate piece of content that hopes to make the subject matter interesting and easy to understand.